The wind, hot and gritty, clawed at Rhys's face as he sprinted across the fractured desert floor. Amelia stumbled beside him, her hand clamped in his, a fragile anchor against the swirling sand and the relentless pursuit. The fissure, a jagged scar across the landscape, had swallowed the armored figures, their metallic footsteps echoing ominously behind them. "Fast, Amelia!" Rhys grunted, his muscles burning, his eyes fixed on the crumbling sandstone outcropping looming ahead. "They're gaining." Amelia's breath hitched in her throat. I feel it, Rhys. The heart it's calling to me." Her voice was a thin whisper, laced with a strange otherworldly resonance. He raised a glance over his shoulder. The armored figures, their forms blurry in the heat haze, were close in the distance. They moved with an unsettling, tireless efficiency, their visors reflecting the harsh sunlight like predatory eyes. "Ignore it," he snapped, tightening his grip on her hand. "We need to lose them first." But Amelia's eyes were glazed, her gaze drawn towards a point beyond his vision. As they reached the sandstone outcropping, a section of the rock face shimmered, then dissolved, revealing a narrow, spiraling staircase descending into the darkness. "There," she murmured, her voice barely audible. "The sonnet's coming from there." Rhys hesitated. The staircase felt on. A palpable sense of dread emanated from its depths, a silent warning against descent, but he couldn't deny the desperate plea in Amelia's eyes, the subtle power radiating from her. "Stay close," he said, drawing his revolver, "and be ready for anything." They plunged into the darkness, the spiral staircase twisting downwards into the earth's embrace. The air grew colder, heavier, thick with a scent of dust and something else, something ancient and indefinable. The rhythmic chanting, faint at first, grew steadily louder, resonating within their very bones. Suddenly, a voice crackled over Rhys's earpiece. It was Vogel, but his usual urgency was gone, replaced by a chilling flatness. Rhys Amelia Vogel's voice was distorted, devoid of its characteristic warmth. "You shouldn't have come. You are expected." Rhys frowned, instinctively wary. "Vogel, what's going on?" "What do you mean, expected?" "The cycle demands completion. You cannot interfere." Vogel's voice took on a robotic tone, an unsettling departure from his usual manner. "Join us. There is still time to fulfill your purpose." Rhys's hand tightened around his revolver. "Vogel, are you all right? What's happened to you?" There was a brief pause, a flicker of something, regret, in Vogel's voice before it vanished completely. "There is no time for questions. Obey." The connection abruptly severed, leaving Rhys staring into the oppressive darkness. "He's been compromised," Rhys muttered, his gaze sweeping the dimly lit staircase. "Something's controlling him." They continued their descent, the chanting growing louder, the air thickening with an almost palpable energy. The staircase opened into a vast cavern, the ceiling lost in impenetrable shadows. In the center of the cavern, bathed in an eerie violet light, pulsated a massive, crystalline structure, the Heart of Zerzura. Standing before the heart were the armored figures, their forms silhouetted against the pulsating light. Leading them was Vogel, his eyes vacant, his movements precise, his expression utterly devoid of emotion. "Welcome," Vogel said, his voice a monotone echo of his former self. "The heart awaits." Amelia gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "I remember," she whispered, her voice trembling. "The summit's a warning. I promise." As she spoke, a wave of violet energy washed over her, illuminating her form with an ethereal glow. The lullaby she had unconsciously hummed earlier now resonated through the cavern, a defiant counterpoint to the chanting of the armored figures. "She resists," one of the armored figures rasped, his voice distorted by a metallic filter. "It is only a temporary setback," Vogel replied, his gaze fixed on Amelia. "The cycle will be completed." Rhys raised his revolver, his eyes narrowed, his jaw set in a grim line. "Step aside, Vogel. This doesn't have to end this way." But Vogel did not respond. Instead, he raised his hand and the armored figures surged forward, their movements synchronized, their intent unmistakable. The final act was about to begin.